All right, guys, this is the Blade Scimitar 110. This is essentially the next step up from the Inductrix Pro. In this video, we're going to unbox it. We are going to take a look at all the parts and pieces, and then we're going to do a test flight. Hopefully that goes well. And then at the end, we're going to do our review notes wrap up. Coming up next, we're going to see what's going on inside the box. All right, so we're going to do our unboxing right here. Take this off. Here's a look at the quad right here. It's all tied down. We've got the strap down there tied down. So we are going to take off the next layer, see what's going on in there. Set that down. We have this little antenna, and of course, never ever plug in your quad without an antenna on there. It will fry your VTX. That is really not a good way to go about things. So it's a little fair warning if you're not sure about that. Some spare props, very nice, comes with some, so that's good. I did order another spare prop, so that's cool that I've got a little bit of extra. And we've got some extra parts and pieces. These are probably for the main antenna. Oh yeah, here we go. These sticks right here help make the antenna right there a little more durable. Cool. And we've got the owner's manual. Pretty basic stuff. All right, so I am going to charge the battery, program my radio, and then we're going to come back and take a closer look. All right, guys, this is what it looks like all put together. As you can see, I've got the little antenna pieces on there. Went together fairly easy, and this antenna snapped right in. That was no problem at all. Here, of course, we've got the red JST. This takes either a 2S or a 3S. Now, if you do the 3S, you want to go with the 450 milliamp hour. And if you go with the 2S, they're recommending the 800. I think that has to do with weight and all that, so keep that in mind. One of the things that I want to point out is that this camera, it does come with the lens cap, but I took it off, that way you could see it. This angles up 30 degrees, and instead of having kind of a sweet spot in the middle, it's notched. I'm not sure how I feel about that just yet, but basically it has 3 settings. And up here, this is kind of a function button. I think that's how we tune a few things. I haven't turned it on yet, plugged it in, so I don't know how that works, but that is one of the buttons. And back here, we've got some LEDs. And my understanding is that we can change these color combinations, but I, again, have not done that yet. Of course, we've got some nice thrust motors. You can read those numbers right there. I'm not even going to try and say those. And under here, we've got a little foam pad here. And I think there's some Velcro that I did not put on yet. And I will do that coming up here shortly. We've got some nice carbon fiber on this frame. This definitely seems like a nice little quad. So far, so good. All right, so I've got the battery charging. I'm going to add a little extra adhesive, and coming up next, I'm gonna plug in and we're gonna try and fly this thing. All right, guys, this thing comes in air mode or acro. We're gonna try it in acro. This is not the space to fly this in, but we're gonna get a little crazy, see what happens, do a very, very short flight here. And to turn it on, if you set things up correctly, you hit the H switch, and we're gonna see what happens, and hopefully this doesn't end badly. All right, enough of that. That was really hard to control in here, and you know what? Let's go and do some other stuff. That's all coming up next. All right, guys, we're gonna do our pros and cons and wrap this thing up. That way I can take it out and fly it at the first weather opportunity. As far as the pros go, this thing runs on 2S and 3S lipo packs. That is awesome. I love that flexibility. It comes pre-tuned out of the box. You can also make some changes with Betaflight, but I bought this pretty much just to fly out of the box, and if I have to make changes, I'm probably gonna be kind of pissed. So there you go. Overall, it's really easy to set up. Just follow the instructions in the manual. Not a big thing at all. There are two different ways to set the VTX power on this thing. Yes, it is adjustable. I think that's pretty awesome. You can use this button here. You can also use the transmitter with the OSD on your goggles. That's pretty darn cool. The video quality itself in here in GBLynden Studio looks pretty awesome. And normally that's not always the case. So I'm really excited to try this outside to see what it really looks like in different lighting conditions. Of course, I will update the description, my pros and cons as things go. This is just kind of a baseline out of the box, first impression sort of a deal. Now the price, it was reduced recently. So it puts it very close to the 110 Torrent. And from what I understand, this thing has more capability and has less drifting and some other things. So I'm excited to test it out, but the price certainly is much better than it was when it first came out, so I'm going to give it a pro for that. Check the links in the description for the current price. I'm going to have links to my Amazon store as well as a direct link to this on Amazon, so check those out. Help support the channel. As far as the cons go, there are only 3 different camera angles, and they're separated by 15 degrees. So either have total level, kind of intermediate, and then up 30 degrees. So I'd prefer maybe every 5 to 10. That would be ideal. But you know what? I'm just kind of nitpicking, so take that for what it's worth. However, it applies to you in your flying style. Another con is that the antenna seems to pop out pretty easy and it wiggles side to side. So I'm probably going to do some modifications with that. Maybe put some rubber around that, maybe a little hot glue. I don't really know yet, but I probably will do that long term. As far as the maiden flight goes, I will probably just do it stock and see what happens, give it a good test. With all that being said, overall this thing looks awesome. Be sure to check all my links in the description. Like, comment, and subscribe. And GBLynden out.